Welcome to the Fire Sprinkler Podcast with Chris Logan. Hey everybody, my name is Chris Logan and thanks for tuning in to the Fire Sprinkler Podcast. I want to thank everyone for the support. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from you guys, the listeners. I appreciate any feedback, good or bad. Let me know what you think about the podcast, what you didn't like. Feel free to suggest topics of discussion. Let me know if you have any unique projects going on. I'm very interested in seeing some of these projects, how they're going together. If you're working on the design, managing, installing something you want to brag about, let me know. Fire me a line at firesprinklerpodcast@gmail.com or get a hold of me on social media. Search Fire Sprinkler Podcast in Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and it should pop right up. I've had a few manufacturers reaching out to me about getting some new products on the Fire Sprinkler Podcast. Nothing is solid yet, but I'm hoping to get something together at some point in the near future. I want to get into touring some manufacturing facilities, discuss the process of getting new products listed, that sort of thing. It's simply a matter of which manufacturer pulls the trigger first to get going with this. I have the capability to record the podcast on site now. Each podcast is being listened to by over 1,000 unique listeners, which is incredible. Again, I thank each and every one of you for the support. It's kind of gotten bigger than I was expecting, to be honest with you. The topic of discussion on this episode of the Fire Sprinkler podcast is going to be engineered lumber and other building products. I recently heard there's a manufacturer out there that's going to be using laminated 2x4s, 2x6s, and other similar lumber to that for residential construction. Laminated floor joists have been utilized in construction since the late 1960s. The purpose of this project was to stretch the boundaries of architecture, open up spaces in our homes, giving way to the term open concept. The problem with open concept design in homes is the lack of bulkheads and doorways to contain the heat and smoke from spreading from room to room. 25 years ago, before open concept was the trend in architecture, residents in homes had an average of 17 minutes to escape the home in the event of a fire. Newer constructed homes, you have about 3 to 4 minutes. One of the reasons for the decrease in escape time is the laminated lumber being used to construct these homes. The glue in these materials can become pliable at around 300 degrees, which means can be soft, so can collapse, lose its structural integrity. Fire department walks in the front door, it's a quick ramp to the basement. The auto ignition temperature of these materials is between 400 to 500 degrees. So the auto ignition is essentially automatically ignite the entire joist or 2x4 or whatever it is going to completely catch on fire. On average, a residential home fire can reach 500 degrees at the ceiling in less than 5 minutes. So essentially your home is going to lose its structural integrity within 5 minutes of a home starting. And that's from the ignition time. That's not 5 minutes of flashover. That's 5 minutes of a fire starting in a garbage can or laundry room or anywhere. Many building codes around North America require these types of lumber to be fire rated using gypsum board or other approved fire rated building materials. Some even require fire sprinklers to be installed, so double check with your local building department to see what's required if you're going to use laminated floor joists. Another major issue with engineered lumber is the toxic gases that come off from the glue when melting or burning. Smoke inhalation makes up for up to 90% of fatalities in fire. Residential fire sprinklers reduce the gases emitted from fires by up to 95%. So it would be nice to see some kind of mandatory requirement for fire sprinklers to be installed in residential structures where engineered lumber is being used. What does everybody else out there think about residential fire sprinklers? Do you have them in your home? Would you install sprinklers in your home if you're building it from the ground up? What are the reasons for not installing sprinklers? Do the home builders in your area offer them in new builds? I'm in the process of retrofitting my home. My home's about 20 years old, has laminated floor joists used, and I've got 2 kids, 4 and my oldest just turned 6 a couple days ago. I'm going to give them every opportunity to get out if we ever have a fire. So I am retrofitting right now. I've done the calculations, I've done the math, and we are in the process. So any of those questions, if anybody in your area is offering residential sprinklers as a home builder, let me know. Drop me a line on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Feel free to email me at thefiresprinklerpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know your opinions on residential fire sprinklers or engineered building to material. Did I leave any important comments or details out of this podcast? Let me know. The only way I'm going to be able to get better at this is with your assistance and support. So thanks again for tuning into the Fire Sprinkler Podcast. I appreciate all the support. I'm hoping to get some merchandise made up soon, some stickers, hats, shirts. Let me know if you'd be interested in supporting the podcast through merchandising. Again, topics of discussion, projects on the go. A few I'm very interested in discussing around North America would be the Tesla manufacturing facility in Nevada, the new Star Wars land in Orlando. There's a Nova expansion that's going on in Sarnia, Ontario, which is my neck of the woods. So this is an attention to anybody from Vipont or any API affiliates in the know. Get a hold of me, again, firesprinklerpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know if you want to talk about this. Again, any manufacturers, Victaulic, Globe, Viking, Grinnell, Tyco, get a hold of me. That's it for this episode of the Fire Sprinkler Podcast. My name is Chris Logan, and thanks for stopping by.